Okay, so I want to start doing some videos, but I'm going to put them in pieces on things that all business students really need to know. Business students should know. And that's really the most powerful economies in the world. Now, I'm going to pick the top 4 as opposed to either doing the top 3 or the top 5. So I'm going to be doing this in nominal GDP. I won't be doing this in GDP where it's PPP adjusted. So first, of course, comes the United States at 21 trillion. Then you've got China at approximately 14.7 trillion. You've got Japan at 5 trillion. And then you've got Germany, which is approximately 3.9 trillion. By the way, Germany is the 4th most powerful economy in the world, and it is the most powerful economy in the European Union. So now, why do these countries have the GDPs that they do? Well, when it comes to the United States, in terms of industries, you're talking about industries such as real estate, the financial sector, which is really large, insurance, and also services, business services, professional services, and then, of course, healthcare countries. So the next one, of course, is China. China is a country that's very near and dear to my heart. It's a country that I've known for a long time. I've been to many times. And even though China is beginning to change and their economy is beginning to evolve even more, let's not forget one of the most basics. China's economy has been driven for the past 20 years by manufacturing and a focus on the export industry. Okay, so in other words, China was first manufacturing really just for export. Now that China's economy is changing, of course, and I know there's pluses and minuses and problems that every economy in every country has. So they're also still, of course, doing a ton of manufacturing. Some of that manufacturing has now shifted towards the domestic market, which is indicative of some of China's changes. But for the most part, and there are, of course, some other industries in China, for example, various business sectors, finance, etc. Real estate is always tricky in China, by the way, and a little bit problematic. But manufacturing really drives that. The 3rd largest economy in the world is Japan. Japan used to be number 2, by the way. It's now been bumped to number 3. So Japan, and I've said this in innovation classes a lot. One of the things, how does this tiny island nation of Japan really sort of come in at number 3 and used to be the 2nd largest economy in the world for several decades? So yes, you might be thinking, well, the Japanese, make cars and there's Japanese cars all over the place. Well, that's part of it, but it's not so much about that per se. There's something else that's happening before that. The genesis of that is Japan has always been a country that is completely dedicated to innovation. And innovation and technological know-how and technological superiority is what has given Japan the fruits that they've been able to enjoy. So even when it comes to Japanese manufacturing, mainly cars, the manufacturing of Japanese cars and the reason why Japanese cars are generally reliable has to do with understanding advanced production techniques, which also goes back to innovation and technological know-how and a commitment to constant learning and constant advancement. And when you think about Japan's economy, I would stress to you, always think in terms of technological know-how, advanced manufacturing, commitment to innovation. And now we have the 4th largest economy in the world. So Germany comes in at number 4. And in terms of Germany's economy, of course, you have a huge manufacturing sector and an engineering sector. Germany is a top exporter of cars, but Germany also is a top exporter of machinery. Now, for anyone who's been in a factory, it doesn't even matter what kind of factory it is. The machines that make whatever is being made oftentimes are actually German machines, okay? Another thing that Germany is very, very skilled at that a lot of people may not necessarily know, and I know there's other countries, for example, Israel, who is also very good at manufacturing and development of pharmaceuticals. But Germany, and it's been like this for at least 100 years, Germany also has a very important pharmaceutical sector. Germany has been a leader in the drug business for at least 100, maybe 125, 130 years. Sometimes people don't realize that the Germans invented aspirin, and this is a drug that hasn't ever gone away to this day. A lot of people, Bayer, the number one aspirin brand, Bayer, if you're not familiar, a lot of people think that Bayer is an American company. It's actually a German company. But the other thing that I wanted to mention in terms of what the Germans bring to the table, so the Germans are incredibly gifted when it comes to engineering and understanding industrial design. So in my opinion, the Germans have the type of mindset that really no other country has when it comes to things such as engineering. They are just unbelievably skilled. In other words, Germany makes products that the whole world desires. So there you go. Hopefully this was helpful for you. Let me know if you have any comments. But I'll be doing some of these videos from time to time. But for now, this first video, again, these are the 4 most important and most powerful and largest economies in the world. But I wanted to make sure that aside from the number, which anybody can really take a look at the number, I wanted to make sure that you understood what really, in terms of industries, are the drivers here. So send me your comments and questions, and each week you'll get a chance to win a copy of one of my books, your choice, either my book on presentation skills or business writing skills.